Well, hey everyone, Carrie here. And so I love these episodes. I love talking to you guys. I love sharing my heart and all the things that we do. And if you're new here, say hi to me while you're tuning in. I would love to know who you are and where you are tuning in from. But if you're new, you'll see like, okay, I'm on my own and I'm doing a live episode. And sometimes we do episodes with guests. And I try to change it up a little bit where, sometimes I'm doing it with a guest and sometimes I'm doing it on my own. So hopefully you'll see a little mixture of the two. But you'll also see that we are doing a series over the next, I guess, a few months. We're going to kind of plot it out and see how long it takes. I don't know if you guys all know this, but I have about 15 coaches with disruptive nutrition. 15. Put in the comments, 15. And I just feel like they're kind of behind the scenes. Like I always get to come up here and every once in a while I might have a coach do a guest spot with me or a client do a guest spot with me or a guest coach do something with me. But very often I'm trying to teach something from my heart, something that I know, something around my background as a behavior specialist and a nutritionist and a life coach and all that. But I just feel like I need to give more voice to my coaches. So be on the lookout for every few weeks. We're going to be introducing you to another coach. We're going to interview them, hear their story, help them to share what they disrupted with disruptive nutrition. It's important to know that every single one of my coaches, they aren't just like, I didn't put an ad out for nutrition coaches to come work with me. I've never done that and I never plan to because my coaches all have to have been part of our approach, have been part of their journey with us. And their life has been transformed by what we teach, and they wanted to support others to do the same thing. I love that. And so what's so important to me is that you get to meet them too. So, as we kind of go through these next few months and finish out the year, I just want you to be able to see that theme. I don't know how long it's going to take us to go through them because I feel like we plan out some of the things that we want to talk about based on what we're hearing from you. So it's not like we plan out all of our episodes for months and months in advance. So we're going to figure out how long it will take us. But if you're excited about that, put coach in the comments. If you have a coach that you work with, tell me who it is. Who is your coach? I love our coaches really become, friends with our clients and they support them, they cheer them on. But I think what's so powerful about what we do that's different as well is because I was a mindset coach for so long because they had to transform their own thinking and mindsets. They're actually trained in how to really ask questions in a way that help them, their clients really change their mindsets. We always say that we teach you how to fish. So I love that. So you're going to be hearing from our coaches and I can't wait for you to do that. We just have an incredible team. So keep your eye out for what we've already done and what's coming up. And, one of the things that really made me think about this is we've had coaches that have worked with us for years and they all had tried everything, diet after diet. If our coach, Sarah, she had tried more than 50 diets. She was a health coach for a fasting company, like a nutrition company that did fasting. And she realized after not very long, a decent amount of time, but not too long, that this is not what I should be doing. And our coaches are filled with so much heart and integrity. And someone like Sarah, for example, knew this isn't sustainable. This isn't what we can or should be doing for the rest of our lives. This isn't what we would allow our kids to do. This isn't what we should be modeling for our kids. So today, as I was thinking about this, as we've been planning out which coaches we're going to be bringing on when, I thought about the fact that they have been with us for a long time. And this truly is sustainable. They go through their own struggles. In fact, I'll often coach them. They will often coach me. We have shared so many times in our membership group coaches that might be struggling with something, and we're open and vulnerable about it. But at the end of the day, they still show up for themselves. consistently, not perfectly. And that's what we ask of our clients. So in today's episode, I want to really dig into what sustainable nutrition really means. Because that's one of the things that we say, right? Simple, sustainable, and satisfying. It has to be all three of those things. Simple doesn't mean easy. It means simple. It's simple. You don't have to track. We're not doing calorie counting. We're not like just like doing complicated math. I don't even can't even do that. I think about one of our coaches, Beth, who when she was a client, she could not imagine ever not having her calorie counting notebook. And now she doesn't. The sustainable nutrition is a real thing. It's not just a tagline. And it has to be satisfying, because if it isn't, you're not going to want to do it forever. So we're going to talk about what sustainable nutrition really means, because I want you to take a look at what you're doing. Really, truly reflect. And if it is not any one of these things that really is about sustainability, then it's never going to last. And your definition of something working and my definition of something working, I think, are two different things. Because I'll often say hear people say, we do amazing coaching calls. Our coaches are so incredible. One of the things that they have to do as part of being a coach is talk to people that they may never work with formally, because we open up our calendars, we open up our phone lines and do calls with people at a regular basis. And many of them we don't even offer our services to. When we have 15 coaches, which might sound like a lot, but they only take 2 or 3 people at a time, we can't offer our services to everybody. So they are committed in so many ways to be able to chat, talk, and they might not even offer our formal programming because maybe they're not ready or we don't have capacity, whatever it is. But when you think about how sustainable this lifestyle must be for them to want to do that, that's incredible, right? So you can absolutely schedule a call to connect with one of our coaches. So we'll make sure we put a link in for you on that. But let's talk about sustainable nutrition and what that means. I want this. If you don't have our coaching call notebook, I highly suggest getting our coaching call notebook. You can go. We'll put a link to that as well. And you can grab that. I really love that every single week we really try to add value. And I always talk about 1% progress, and that you learn a little bit, you marinate on it, learn a little bit more, marinate on it. This isn't a sprint. This isn't even a marathon. There is no finish line. Some people say to me, well, how long will it take before I reach X goal? And I'm like, does it matter? Does it matter? If you're doing what you should be doing for your body, don't you need to just do that? Divorce yourself from the results. Just go, because you will see it. And it doesn't even take that. It doesn't take that much overthinking. It's just 1% progress every day. Consistency over time is the definition of success. Just applying the fundamentals consistently over time. But in order to do that, you have to have sustainable nutrition. So if you have your coaching notebook, let's get it out so that you can absolutely start to take some notes on what we're talking about. Use the reflection page, which is the page next to it. After you take your notes and kind of, go through the template there over the week to marinate on the teaching, and then write down a few of your additional thinking, thoughts, reflections, questions, and then be able to each and every week learn that much more. Okay. So let's talk about sustainable nutrition. So write this down. All right. So sustainable nutrition does not mean, you ready? Does not mean a diet. So if you're doing the such and such diet, just don't. How about don't? How about don't? Because we have to fuel ourselves. All diets are the same. I always say it's like a different sheep in wolf's clothing. Is that right? Yeah, a different sheep in wolf's. It's always a wolf. I forget how that goes. Somebody tell me, remind me how that goes, right? So it's always the same wolf, but they're all in different sheep's clothing. That's what it is. It's same wolf in sheep's clothing, different sheep's clothing. Okay. Oh my goodness. So all diets rely on deprivation. And depriving yourself, like, how does depriving yourself allow you to thrive? Since when does anything thrive in a deficit, right? So if you are doing any such and such diet, or if it even has a name, if it's like one thing, I am doing keto, right? Like we teach how to balance your proteins, fats, and carbs, but that is not sustainable nutrition. That is one component of it, one of the many layered onion. I would say it's like an onion that you just keep peeling the layers on. There isn't one thing that's going to make it. It is a layered approach, and a diet will never get you there. And if you wouldn't let your kids do it, you shouldn't be doing it either. Our bodies, while they seem very different, all function essentially in similar ways, and we all need our blood sugar balance. Okay. If you're just doing a cleanse, like, oh my gosh, sustainable nutrition is not, I'm going to do a juice cleanse or a water cleanse. I have had so many people do these crazy cleanses, are just drinking shakes all day. No, that's not sustainable. Here's the thing, you guys, how you lose weight has to be how you maintain it. Your body cannot take the up and down. We're doing this, we're not doing this. I want you to think about your body and you as if you are in a relationship. Think about a relationship and what it requires to be a long-term, value-ridden experience. Trust. And what's the definition of trust? Definition of trust. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. Are positive interactions consistently over time. Now, my husband and I have been married for 22 years. Are we perfect? No, but we show up for each other pretty consistently. Now, there's some days I go a little crazy, of course, but I know I can go a little crazy. He's not going to divorce me because we have a long-standing consistency, although it's not perfect, relationship going on, right? And so if you are doing something that you cannot go off plan for because you gain 10 pounds, that's like me and my husband getting an argument and then him like saying, that's it, I'm done. Like that's just not, that's not a healthy relationship. And if your body just responds by holding on to food when you do eat it, that's a sign you're not doing a sustainable approach. How you lose weight has to be how you maintain it. It's like almost maintenance mode all the time. Okay, sustainable nutrition is not being obsessive or excessive about anything, where it's all in or nothing, that you're perfect or you're off. You're on the wagon or you're off the wagon. You're eating perfect or you're binge eating. Any of those dichotomies, food is good or food is bad. You track every single thing you're doing with an app. I mean, if that was what it meant and took to truly be healthy, I guess fine. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. It's not what it takes. I've been living this lifestyle for like a decade. I know. My clients. I mean, we worked with thousands of women. I know. You don't have to do that. And if you are excessive or obsessive, it is not only is the food plan not working for you, but you're not addressing the thoughts and beliefs that are dictating your actions. You're not. And that's not going to be sustainable. All right. Scarcity. If you're living with the scarcity mindset, if you're literally thinking about the food that you put in your mouth all the time and that you're scared of it and that you have to be rationing it or doing math, how much protein per day do I need? How many calories per day do I need? That's a scarcity mindset, not sustainable. Okay. If you need unwavering motivation, not sustainable. I don't know about any of you, but let's be honest. If you ever set your alarm at night to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because you were so motivated to wake up and then 5 o'clock comes and you don't wake up, because your motivation waxes and wanes. And so many of us rely on motivation. Like right now in the fall, right? Before, Christmas and the holidays all comes up, I see a lot of motivated people. January, I see a ton of motivated people. April-ish, I see a bunch of motivated people because we're like, oh my gosh, like bathing suit season or new year, new me. Like it's just all of these things. We have this high rocket fuel of motivation and it doesn't last. And I don't find anything wrong with motivation. I love it. I always joke around how my basement is just a mess and I need to clean it. And I really just rely on motivation for that. When I'm motivated, I'm like gung ho. And it's great because then I get a lot done, but it's not consistent. And my basement is like, it's going to take forever if all I do is rely on motivation. And if you need unwavering motivation to be able to show up every day because it isn't really satisfying, it isn't simple, whatever, it's not a sustainable approach. Okay. If you have to be perfect in order for this to work, quote unquote, work, that is not a body healing You are the weight that you are. You are in the current health status that you are in because of the signals that you have sent your body. And you can easily, very simply undo that by understanding how food works in our body, by understanding more about food, by understanding more about our mindsets, by learning how to do things forever. And if you have to be perfect and you have a cheat meal every once in a while, and then you fall off and your body reacts negatively, that means your body is not healthy, your body is not thriving, and you shouldn't need to be perfect, just like in a marriage. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And if you are not perfect and your body can handle it, you're healing. You're healing. It also cannot be complicated. If you couldn't explain what you were doing in literally a sentence, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Now, that is only one part of the equation because, like I said, it's a multi-layered approach. It takes a whole lot of understanding of who you are, what you're doing, what your triggers are, all of that kind of stuff. But in general, I take on an approach where I serve my body and I serve my soul. But I serve my body more than I serve my soul. That's really it. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand about food. I understand how it serves my body, and I understand that I need to serve my soul. It's not more complicated than that, I promise. If yours is more complicated than that, it's not sustainable nutrition. Okay? And then the last thing that I really want you to think about is that if you are at a race for a definition, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me today? If you're at a race for a destination, like I need to lose a certain amount of pounds by a certain date, that is your ego talking, not your heart. Because if it's your heart, I love myself and I know I am put on this earth for a reason, and I'm going to do what I know I need to do to serve myself so that I can serve others and live a balanced life. But if it is always a race to a destination, then you are done at some point. If it's 30 days to healthy living, if it is, a 21-day fix, all of those things have a finish line to it. And then what do you do after that? Whole 30. That's not sustainable. How you lose weight has to be how you maintain it. Your body thrives on consistency. And if there is a destination, then you're going to see an end. In all reality, we talk about having a lifestyle launch, but not a challenge, because a challenge sounds like it's a certain amount of time and then it's done. I always say this is not a sprint. This is not a marathon. This just is part of who you are, what you do, what you think, how you believe. You live a wonderful life where you know how to eat confidently anywhere, at any time, in any situation. I recently, this past summer, my 16-year-old, wanted to go on a trip. Suddenly, we went down to Savannah, Georgia, and we literally, in a day's notice, went. And then the following week, my other daughter was like, "Oh, I want to go somewhere." And spontaneously, we went to Florida together. We flew budget airline. All I could do was pack a backpack. And I was able to stay on point, enjoying every single aspect of what I wanted to enjoy without ever feeling deprived. That's just how I live. There's no race to a destination. I am absolutely in better health now than I was 10 years ago. But I didn't have that as that must be here by a certain date. And I think that that's one of the things that we really need to be recognizing, that if we have this destination that we have to get to, we're never going to live our life like we are just on maintenance mode. This is who we are. Okay. So let's talk about, that was what sustainable nutrition is not. Let's talk about what sustainable nutrition really means. Got it? It's a journey. It's a journey. It is not a destination, and you are in for it, loving the learning all the way through. You have patience. I mean, let's be honest. Your body has been working so hard to be able to protect you for so many years. And now you got to build back trust with your body. And it's an amazing opportunity, but it's going to take patience. Anything that's a quick fix, not sustainable, not healthy. Sustainable nutrition is consistent, and we have an abundance mindset. Everything is possible. You can have anything and everything, but it's about knowing your body. It's about knowing your why. It's about knowing your purpose. It's about knowing yourself in such a way that you decide what you want for yourself, and then you don't break that promise with yourself. That's an abundance mindset. I can have everything and anything I want. I just get to choose what it is that I want to do for myself. And you'd be surprised how when you start speaking your body's love language, you start with sustainable nutrition and not a quick fix that is a cleanse or excessive or or complicated, how easy it is to choose the things that serve your body because you truly experience a transformation. Sustainable nutrition means it's balanced and satisfying. Literally, you feel satisfied. I think so many of us don't even know what that feels like. That we're always either like searching for something or overdoing something, like starving and binging. But imagine feeling satisfied. It's crazy, right? There's a lot of enjoyment in sustainable nutrition, like loving to eat in a way that serves your body and truly loving that you can serve your soul without guilt. That's sustainable nutrition. And I think that these pieces where you believe that this is lifelong, like I'm not brushing my teeth so one day I don't ever have to think about it again. So one day I don't ever have to do it. I know I got to brush my teeth every day, regardless of what life gives me. Well, it's going to be like this too. That is sustainable nutrition. That is what I hope you are looking for. That is what I hope that when you find, you really know. Now, I will say one of the pieces of the puzzle is not just to have that all in place, but is to actually execute. And so execution is very different than intentionality. And another piece of what I'm always trying to talk about and teach about. We actually just released a tool that I want to tell you about that might allow you to have a little bit more control over the execution of doing something forever, because you can have an approach that's sustainable, just like our approach is. But I know so many people who don't necessarily always do it forever because life has either gotten in the way or they really haven't learned how to organize their life in a way that is conducive for a lifestyle that is truly sustainable. And so I need you to know that for the past probably 20 years, I have been on a secret quest for finding the perfect planning tools. Like I'm obsessed with intentional planning. One of my bosses years ago, when I was a national educational consultant, she said to me, Carrie, how do you have 30 hours in the day? And I'm like, huh? And I don't, but I'm very intentional with my time. Time doesn't control me. I control it for the most part. I mean, I do get off just like everybody does. The Facebook can totally suck me in. But I will say that I have never been able to find truly one that I love. I have made my own. I have a pile in my back over here, in the back of my office. I have a pile of planners that I have literally made myself on the computer, printed out, gone to Kinko's, gotten bound, all that stuff, and yet still fell short. So I will tell you now that I am thrilled that we have found a solution for all of that. And at least what we use, what my clients use, my kids use are our planner pad trio. So we have 3 planner pads that work synergistically. Synergy means that they work even better together than they do individually. And so synergistically for a whole year of planning out your groceries along with your meals. If you are in our recipe subscription, we only open it twice a year, but if you are in our recipe subscription, this will be a major, amazing tool for you. And they're just rip off pads. It's just a really great way for you to be able to stay organized and intentional. We have our monthly and weekly planner that allows us to be able to see kind of the month and the weeks at a 30,000-foot view. So we're really clear on what we want to be doing and when we're going to be doing it. And then our daily planner, it's a 2-page, you rip it off and you're really intentional every day about where you're going to use your time. So we have that planner pad trio. I actually have a whole training that goes along with it, so you know exactly how to use it. So if you're interested in that, go and grab that in our shop. I'll put a link for you for that as well. So that is a great tool for you that once you are doing something that's sustainable, that you can actually use your time effectively so that you can do it forever. All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. I'd love to know your takeaways. Tell me what you have been doing in the past or what you are doing now. And do you think it's sustainable? And if not, what are you going to do about it? And what are you going to do to make sure that what you're doing you can do forever, that you would teach your kids and is based in science for your body to thrive? Remember, wherever you are in your journey, there is a place for you at Disruptive Nutrition, whether you're hanging out in our free Facebook group, grabbing the coaching call notebook and being able to take notes, or whether you really want to stop going around the mountain, do it right, do it smart so that you are not in a place where you don't want to be in a few years from now. Then get in a call with one of our coaches. We'll listen to you, hear your story, and help guide you to where we think the next step is for you in terms of a plan. Keep in mind, with all of my coaches that I have, we don't have a lot of capacity to work with people formally. So we're not always able to offer everybody our services. There will be something that we can share with you for sure. But if it's something that you want to do and work with us formally, then we gotta get on it, right? And at least get you on the list to be able to do it. All right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. Let me know what you thought. All right.